Hello and welcome to what would have been day 15 of the Betfred World Snooker Championship. We've got another exclusive interview for you. Tonight, it's the 1997 champion, Ken Doherty.
I could see myself winning it, and even though I was playing Hendry, he was going for 6 in a row. It didn't bother me. I just played out of my skin. And even though the first session, he had 3 centuries in the first session, Stephen Hendry, against me. And he was 5-3 down. It was the only 3 frames he won in the first 8 frame. And then I won the second session 6-2. It was 11-5, went 15-7 up. And then he won 5 in a row to come back to 15-12. But I won a crucial 28 frame to bridge the gap to 4. And then we had a mid-session interval, and then I came out and won the last 2. But it was a absolute, the dream of all dreams,
If my memory serves me right, I think your highest break was about 85, wasn't it? You did enough to win frames, didn't you, when Hendry was knocking the centuries in?
Yeah, I think he had 5 centuries in the whole match. But I was winning, I'd won some crucial frames, won some frames without making century breaks. Yeah, but 70s, 80s, 60s, I won a lot of frames where I was sort of clearing up, last few reds and colours to win. I won a crucial frame where I doubled the black. Instead of going 6-4, I think I went 7-3 ahead, and that was a crucial moment. I think it was either 7-3 or 8-4 ahead I went, but it was a crucial moment in the match, and I think I won a lot of those important frames.
I watched the last frame again this morning. You sort of have half a smile, don't you, when you do frame ball?
Yeah.
Quite cool to say you just won the World Championship.
Yeah.
What were you feeling inside?
Oh, I was absolutely buzzing. I was again. I had to pot the last red and the colours up to the blue. And when I came around to pot the blue, I'm bang on the blue. And the big chair, just knew then. And I saw Tony Drago. He's sitting in the press box right behind you there. And he was clapping like that. He had a big smile on his face. He was so happy for me. And that's when I smiled and looked up to my friends up in the balcony. And potted the blue and the pink, and it was all over then. And I gave Stephen a hug and was just wanted to just get my hands on that trophy. It was fantastic,
Coming in, what does it mean to get your hands on that trophy?
No, it was just, if you put all your best dreams and your birthdays together in one special moment, that was it. It doesn't, for a snooker player, for a sports person to lift that to that cup, it doesn't get any better than that. And no matter what you do in your life, you'll always be remembered for that. I rang Peter Redden last night and I said, look at Peter, I said, you've had a fantastic career. Whatever you do for the rest of your life, your name is on that cup, and they can't rub it out. They can't take it away. You're etched in Crucible and snooker history, and everybody will remember, like a certain times of their life. But people will always come up to you and say, I remember the year you won that World Championship. It was fantastic,
Did it mean more to you because you beat the best player, arguably, could be the best player ever? I mean, 29 matches unbeaten. You mentioned earlier, 5 on the bounce. No one really gave you a chance even before that final.
No.
So did it mean more to you because you just beaten the best player in the world?
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, I did. Yeah, I beat for the Crucible, to him, it was like his own backyard. It was like his own table. Basically, he dominated. Completely dominated the 90s, and to beat him in the final when he hadn't been beaten for 6 years was just the icing on the cake, really.
And you can see that interview in full on our YouTube and Facebook channels. Now today, the Saturday, is when we find out the finalists, of course, with the semis being completed. And this time last year, we were treated to an absolute classic, a nail-biter. It was Dave Gilbert versus John Higgins, and the 4-time world champion came out on top in its semi-final classic. It's not sunk in, has it?
No. We're in record.
Can you try and put that last frame into words?
No, I'm absolutely drained. I feel so sorry for Dave as well, because I've seen how upset, how emotional he was at the end. And listen, that's just what this sport does. Even I'm crying, but I'm the winner. But that's what it does to you. It was heartbreaking for Dave. I mean, I think I said to him after, and I didn't mean it any disrespect, that I think I brought him down to my level the first 3 sessions. He was a better player than me throughout that game. And I was really struggling with my game, really struggling. But I just managed to stay in touch with him. And then on the final session, I did manage to pull out a good bit of form. And Dave played well as well, but he done an unfortunate kick. I think he was in about the balls. I think it was 16 all. And I managed to get in and do a break, and then it was to and fro on the colours back and forth, and then I managed to pot the crucial. I think it was the final yellow and green. Yeah, and it was tough. It was tough for him to take. Obviously, you've seen the scenes in that for him after it, but that's just what the crucible does. I'm sure he will be back. To hopefully maybe one day be back there again, or even to win it, because he's such a great player. But that's what the crucible can do. It can just break you, and I think it broke Dave at the end. And I managed to just scramble my way over the line. But it was another one of the games. It was a pleasure to be involved in. Yeah.
And finally, on this day 15 years ago, Sean Murphy, 150-1 at the start of the tournament, and the qualifier lifted the World Championship.
You know, innocence of youth or ignorance is bliss. You know, I just didn't know what I was doing. I didn't really grasp the magnitude of what I was doing. I've watched it back a few times, and some of the shots I attempted in those few frames were just madness, complete madness. But they went in. You know, there was a black in what turned out to be the last frame along the cushion, which was just ridiculous. To even consider going for that shot at that stage was mad. There was a couple of shots in the previous frame where I played a rest shot, splashed all the reds everywhere. Anything could have happened and it went in. And there was, shots like that throughout the whole tournament. And I have to say, as I've gone through peaks and troughs in my career since, I've often rewatched that match and thought, that was my biggest success, really. And I got it through playing that way. So maybe there's something in it. And, there have been times where I've revisited that mentality of going for my shots. If you think, I was always brought up, if you think you can get it, go for it. So maybe there's something in it.
In that final break of 83, can you remember at what point you thought, right, I am world champion now, I am world champion?
Well, it's funny because when you do watch it back, the ball that won me the tournament, I think, was the penultimate red or something. And weirdly enough, I remember being really calm on that shot because it was a shot that I'd hit thousands upon thousands of times since being 8 years of age, the shot to win the World Championships. I'd practiced that shot in different guises, in different forms, as a young boy on my 6-foot table to a 12-year-old in the club, playing against yourself, using your imagination. I'd potted that ball to win the championship of the world thousands of times. So when it came, I was actually quite calm on it. I was like, right, we've done this before, pot it. But what you can see when you watch it back, you see the look on my face. I didn't have a clue what to do after that. I hadn't thought about what to do next. And then I obviously had to pot another ball, and then another one, and another one. And you can say, I look back now and think, you should have really enjoyed that a bit more. There wasn't, I didn't crack a smile. I was just too, I was overcome. It was too much for me to cope with. Now I'd be giving it the fist now. I'd be giving it the come on and jumping around the table. But, back then I didn't know the ropes. I didn't know how to celebrate victory. That's the thing about life, Mark, that there's lots of these self-help books about, getting better, dealing with disappointment, dealing with negative. There's not many books on how to cope with success and how to handle when things go right. There's lots of things on how to handle it when it goes wrong. But no one had ever told me, well, when it goes right, this is what you do. Well, and,
And the interview with Sean will be available on our Facebook and YouTube channels on Sunday evening. Right, that's it. Stay in and stay safe.